Hey there, welcome back to another midweek. My name is Brighton, and this week we are joined with Carissa Martin. Welcome.
Thank you.
From Monarch's Way. She just shared this past Sunday with Pastor Becky. They did an interview style in all of our services, and so now we are grateful to have you here with me just to share a little bit more about Monarch's Way, and if you could just maybe give a little brief intro to the ministry of Monarch's Way, just in case if anybody didn't get to catch it this past Sunday.
Well, Monarch's Way is a private Christian school set in a loving family environment, and we're dedicated to helping at-risk teen girls break free from life-controlling behaviors or circumstances. And many girls are coming to us with a history of abuse, deep trauma, self-harm, suicide. There's a lot of girls that are coming to us that really with thoughts about suicide, or that they've been in treatment centers where they've had suicide attempts. And but I say that all of them come simply just believing the lies of the enemy, toxic lies, and we really try to help help them see that they're believing those lies, and to discover that their lives really are worth living. Yeah,
wonderful. And you shared in the services that they come to you. It's not really you finding, so it's more like word of mouth?
We've not done a lot of advertising, but there's something about a changed life and the testimonies that we have of girls that have been doing really well. I would say there's treatment centers that are starting to know about Monarch's Way and what we have to offer, and seeing us as a resource. And the same as say a career magnet school, or different counselors in some of the schools will call, be like, hey, I have a girl that I really think could benefit from your program. We're a little unique in we are an at-will program, and so there's programs out there that you can just, like a treatment center, someplace a girl will go to, but or a parent can be like, fix my kid. But Monarch's Way is working with girls. Are saying, look, I am struggling, and I really do want help.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. And so you have about how many girls right now? Do you have an estimate?
We have six girls right now in our program. 6 to 7 is a great number. We have a couple girls that are in the interview process, and that just fluctuates because not every girl that comes stays an exact amount of time. We take a look at each girl that's coming in, her own unique story, and saying, it's probably like this. I want every girl to stay at least a year. We're really building a great foundation in that time, and then even a second year is wonderful. We've had girls stay as short as 6 months, some less, but and still doing okay at 6 months. But it takes a while to really rebuild some of those ways of thinking and responding to life, and to really discover how to thrive. And not go back. I don't want to see a girl like, in the addiction world, we call, like a relapse, but we want to really build a strong foundation, and also give her opportunities of some freedom to make some choices. Like, if you're, going to struggle, let's struggle here so we can help build you back up and you're not alone.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any, you shared one God at work moment. Are there any others, maybe one or two more that you could share with us?
Sure. It's kind of like, which one?
Right,
There's a girl that is going to graduate, not just our program, but also as a student. So she'll graduate high school with us. We're a school registered with the state of Pennsylvania. And so she came in, she was one of our original OG girls, right? And has not had a home really to go back to, or a safe place. And so she was with us when we began. So this is our 4th year in operation. She'll graduate as a senior, and also graduate as a Monarch's Way girl. And so when she came to us, she actually didn't even pass her first interview. She partway through, she's like, I don't really want this. And we prayed that she would come back, because I really feel like she was to be there. And so anyhow, in her second interview, she experienced, and she would say this, that she experienced something different, and it was peace. She had no words for it at that point. And about 2 weeks into the program, she accepted Jesus, her Savior, surrendered her life to Him, and she didn't like God at all. She had a lot of things really against Him, and we asked girls to try to set that aside and let us let God reveal who he is to you. Because I think he's hard to resist when you really know who he is.
Absolutely.
So, so she's been with us for 4 years and is her high school senior. So as she's got all of her credits, she's doing a work internship right now to wrap those things up. She got a job at Rhodes Grove Camp, so she's real close. She's walked to work some of those days, and she'll be going to YWAM in the fall.
Nice.
But we've also done some volunteering at Minna Haven in the memory care unit. And so she applied there, and they know she's only going to be with them for 5 months, but they've hired her. And so she's went from like an entry-level position. We have she opened her own checking account, and now she's stepping into a job that will really challenge her for the next 5 months, and then move into YWAM. So we're really excited about seeing that.
And YWAM is Youth with a Mission.
Yes, Youth with a Mission, and she'll be going to Boston. She really loves writing and is very artistic, and so she's joined a group there that will really facilitate that. And I will say there's a number of girls that will, as I mentioned to you earlier before we started, that we stay in contact with, or that'll reach back out to us.
Yeah, that's great.
I meet with some of them monthly. It kind of depends what they're looking for, but we try to stay in tune with them. But we have girls that will say that they're here today because of their time at Monarch's Way. A girl with us now that's been here about a year, and she would say, I'm going to see my next birthday because I've been here. Wow. So, and then, I don't know, if you have time for one more.
Sure.
And actually, this is a girl that attends your youth group.
Okay.
So but she came to us, multiple suicide attempts, and really struggling when she came, and probably stayed with us a little over, I'd say maybe a year and a half. Really had to put in the hard work, because there's really some things in her history that really messed with her belief system, who is God and is she loved, those kind of things. But she graduated our program, and then went to a private Christian school. And has just been having success, and seeing her. So it's neat that she's been out of our program for a little over a year. And has actually going on 2 years, because she's going to graduate high school this year, and moving on to some new things. And so it's neat to see the longevity that's happening in her life, and being able to sustain the principles that she's been taught, and to put them into everyday practice to help her thrive. Yeah,
wow, that's wonderful. And if you could share just a little bit of your story, your heart, on how did Monarch's Way become to be, to start?
Okay, well, that's kind of a long story.
Sure,
but I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to shorten it up, and that's really the neat part, because while we have these success stories, it would be neat to be like, I thought of this, right? Like, this was my great idea, but it simply wasn't. Way back in 1999, that's a long time ago, right? Way back in 1999, I had an encounter with the Lord. I call it my Moses burning bush moment, to try to help people think. Remember, I'm not crazy. We have Bible characters. It's real people who had these kind of encounters. But I had an encounter with the Lord where he said I would have a home for struggling teenage girls. And he showed me this property. And it belonged to Raymond Wishart. At the time, he and his wife lived in that house. And that was in 1999. He had built that house in 1995. And God said, this home, I was like, it was a conversation with the Lord. And I was like, where would this even be? Like, this doesn't even make sense. And he said, no one understands why Mr. Wishart built this house, but it's for you in this ministry. And so it became, it was a kind of a long story. It was very, kind of got dark for me in the middle. I felt disqualified. I'd done some other business thing, and I was like, if I can't do this, I've just felt disqualified. And yet the Lord just kept drawing me out. There's some really neat parts to that story, and even how the last was, I knew I needed to pursue this. And I was away. I was with my job, I was in San Diego at a conference, and a man walked up to me and said, I was praying and your face comes up before me. I'm at this conference, there's 1,200 people at this event. And it's the main speaker's son-in-law. He comes up and says this to me. He says, I was praying and your face comes up before me, and God wants you to know that you have everything you need to do what he's called you to do. You just need to do it. What he didn't know is those were the exact words that another person had spoke to me probably 4 years prior, when the Lord was drawing me out of this dark place and saying, I need you to fulfill the call. And it was the exact words. And I said, I was blown away, of
Yeah.
course, and I was like, I'm actually handing my resignation in on Monday and pursuing fulfilling this call. So what a really neat confirmation. And there's no way he could have known. Like, God did that so sweetly for me, because there's no way this man could have known my story or the exact words that this other person had spoke to me. So here we are, all of these years later, then living and moving and rescuing girls in this home that God said would be the place. It's pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah, that definitely, no other explanation other than God.
And he's been
God
so
moment.
faithful.
Yes.
I mean, and I said, God, I don't want to make something like, I'm a mover and a shaker. And I'm like, I don't want to make this happen. Like, I have to know that this is you. And he has proven himself time and time again. That house is completely paid for. We're debt free to start to launch a nonprofit 4 years ago, and just be able to launch without debt. It's an amazing thing.
Wow.
It's kind of unheard of, I think, in the nonprofit world. He's been so faithful.
Wonderful. So if anybody watching feels it on their heart that they want to serve or connect with these girls in some way, come alongside you at Monarch's Way, what opportunities are available?
Well, we really want the community to feel like they're involved, because we couldn't do what we do. We have a tuition, but about 3% of the tuition is actually covered by the tuition. It's really other people giving. And so we want to help the community feel like they can be a part. So we have something called share your talent. I was like, I forget what it was called. It's called Share Your Talent, and that's where we invite the community to come in and say they are good at making pretzels or cocoa bombs, or we have paid licensed artist that comes in and does painting. She teaches watercolor to the girls. It could be somebody coming and teaching the girls how to change a tire, but whatever the talent that you have, come and share that talent. We want the girls to really have this like a broad spectrum of different experiences and exposure to things. And I would say our girls say that, like, I've never experienced that kind of that thing before. So we like to get them out and give them cultural experiences and fill their lives. And so the community can really help to do that. That's a great way. We do have chapel. The girls meet in chapel five days a week and spend an hour learning. It's kind of that place where they realize the joy that's been missing in their lives and learn how to live differently. And so we we'll invite people to come in and share their testimony or their story, and if there's something really on their heart that would be impactful, that's another way to get involved.
Wonderful. And so if they would want to contact, is that through your website?
Absolutely. Go to the website, and I think it might even be a drop-down box like get involved, but there's a little form there, and it just asks a few questions, and from there either I will get a hold of them or our activities coordinator will reach out and get something set up.
All right. So that's monarchs-way.org.
Yes.
There it is. monarchs-way.org. All right. Well, Carissa, thanks so much again for being here with us.
Thank you.
Sharing. Yeah, absolutely.
What a great opportunity to be able to talk about what we're doing, because we certainly cannot do this alone.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Thank you for being here with us as we continue to go through May with our Community Connections Month. So if you feel led to come and serve alongside Monarch's Way, we would love to have you. All right. Well, have a great rest of your week. See ya.